Yes, sir, we're officially back at it. This is Boog Nice coming at you with the Star Wars Rogue One movie SH Figuarts Death Trooper figure review. Let's do it.
This ain't for no scalper. You a scalper? Then fuck out shit. This one's for them real collectors. That's army building and posing figures. Marvel Legends, imports, mini mates, I'm fucking with them. Hype beast, we know about you. Stay buying figs, don't know about it.
And a closer look at the back of the package. You can see the figure there, SH Figuarts logo, bunch of Japanese. Another picture of the figure on the side here. Disney logo, Star Wars Rogue One at the top. SH Figuarts right beneath the figure. This is the standard packaging for all of the SH Figuarts Star Wars. I'm not sure if this little insert was in the box with the Shore Trooper. I'm going to have to check. But they got a little ad here for the Anakin figure. And I'm pretty sure this is a web shop exclusive. It is a web shop exclusive because I pre-ordered this, and you had to pre-order it early in order to get the extra angry face and the extra saber. So taking a look at the Death Trooper out of the package, and I like this figure. It's pretty much what I expected from the figure. Really nice shiny sort of finish, and definitely looks pretty accurate to the movie. Pretty slender. You know, I had actually kind of ragged on the Black Series version for looking really slender. And I don't know if it's because maybe those figures are a little taller as well. I think it works a little better on this particular release. But I just really didn't like the design of the Black Series. So listen, don't look for any size comparisons of any of these troopers from the Black Series, because I didn't bother buying any of them. I put all of my stake in the Figuarts. So out of the package, you get a set of fisted hands, and you get a set of semi-open hands. And to swap these out, it was not as easy as it was on the Shore Trooper. The fit seemed to be a little tighter, so it was a little harder to actually put these on. But there's the set of open hands, and you get a set of trigger fingers, left and right. And you should definitely be careful as you're swapping out the hands here. You might want to actually run the hands under some hot water to make sure that they get slide onto the peg without any problem, because this, like I said, this was a very tight fit on this particular figure. It was much easier to swap the parts with the Shore Trooper. And then you get a small pistol, and I'm going to need help from the Council of Nerds. Tell me what the name of this blaster is. But this is interesting because the scope on the top of this pistol can come off. You can remove that. And if you look here on the side of his belt, there's a little tab here that can come out. And then there's this additional accessory that has the scope and has the tab that can tab back on the belt. So you can plug the scope back into the top of the pistol, like so. And then you can tab that in on his right side, like so. And he can actually carry the smaller blaster. And then there he is with the larger blaster. And again, help me out in the comments if you know the accurate name of this blaster. So that was a pretty cool touch. I like that they did that. And then just taking a closer look at the figure, like I said, it is a very shiny finish on this guy. They did a really nice job with the paint, but you have to be careful. This will get scratched up very easily, and it will also get fingerprints on it very easily. So you know, if you're taking pictures with this, you're gonna definitely have to give it a nice little wipe down before you do, and make sure everything looks really good. If you're gonna be shooting these high quality macro A.C.B.A pics and what have you, then you definitely want to be very careful. Pretty much just a bunch of black and some gray parts that are exposed, and some of the I guess some of the vulnerable spots of the armor. You can see some silver here, and I really like how the helmet looks, and I like how they got this green in the visor. This is reminiscent of the classic Stormtrooper here, and all of this looks good. This whole armor piece, you can see some straps here. This looks like, you know, this straps on here like a vest, and the pouches and all the pouches and everything move actually. I think they probably could have done something a little more detailed as far as the boots go. But overall, the design of this guy is very nice, sleek. And as far as the articulation goes, it is very similar to that of the Shore Trooper. The head is on a ball joint, and the head moves independently of the neck, so the neck and the head can move. And although that is the case, it's still not the greatest range of motion. It'll look down that much, it'll look up just about that much. The shoulder is on the ball joint, as well as this sort of butterfly joint, which is great. And just like the Shore Trooper, this shoulder pad is sort of on a hinge. There's a little peg that allows it to come off too, so that's not broken, but it's on a hinge here. You can see that hinge joint. I see some lint there. You can see that hinge joint there, so it can hinge up and down, and it doesn't hinder the articulation in any way. You can do a full 360 on that shoulder. You do get rotation at the upper bicep here, so that moves. Again, this is something new. I do not believe that it was like that on the previous Stormtroopers. You get a double jointed elbow, and the wrist will turn right before the elbow bend, and you get rotation at the wrist as well as a hinge. The diaphragm is going to go down just about that much. It'll go back pretty far, a little farther than a Shore Trooper. You also get articulation at the lower abdomen, and it will turn left and right at the abdomen as well. Legs seem to be a little different. It's not really a pull down method. They will come up pretty far. I don't know what this type of joint is here. I'm gonna have to inspect this a bit more. Maybe I'll take it apart and look at that. I'll have to tell you later, but it looks like they'll hinge out just about that far. You can see how that joint looks, so that's something new. That's something different there. You do actually get rotation here at the upper thigh, and you do get a double jointed knee. You get a hinge on the foot that barely moves because of the way this part of the armor is. It's not going to come back that far. It barely moves forward. You do get a toe joint, and you do get a decent ankle pivot. So it's the same thing on both sides as far as the arms and legs go. And like I mentioned earlier, these pouches move. I thought all of the pouches move, but it's just these plain black ones that move. But again, that doesn't hinder the leg articulation in any way. Still a decent range of motion. You'll definitely get them into just about every pose that you've seen them in the movie. Yeah, I ain't really do no size comparisons. I'm actually shooting some video for main course while I'm finishing up this review. You can see the Black Series Krennic right there, and I put them all the way in the back just for a little kind of forced perspective. I think the scale still kind of works though. To be perfectly honest, I'm not totally blown away by these figures. And don't get me wrong, they are very nice figures. They have the look, they have the accessories, the paint is phenomenal, but I don't think they are totally blowing away the Black Series version. I mean, the articulation is great. You're definitely going to be able to do more and do more dynamic things with them over the Black Series version. And like I said, the Black Series versions, they look really, really slender, but these look slender too. I think they could have gave these a little more bulk, a little more girth on them as well. I'm still looking to get 6 of these, and I'll be okay with that. I want to get 5 of the regular troopers, and then they have a Death Trooper specialist that's supposed to be coming out at some point, which will probably be a web shop exclusive, and I think I'll be good with that. To me, it seemed like they were Krennic's. I felt like they were his personal sort of hit squad, so I didn't get the impression that there were a lot of Death Troopers. I felt like there was a special certain amount of them. And in the opening sequence to the movie, you saw those 6 guys, and you didn't really see more than 6 or so on the screen at one time, if I'm not mistaken. They didn't really make it known whether or not these guys were clones or robots or what. They had a very strange speaking pattern in the movie. And if you haven't seen the movie already, I don't want to give away too much, but it's already a week after the movie has dropped. You should have saw this at least 2 times already. But anyway, bottom line is I think these came out pretty good, but still the Shore Trooper is probably my favorite so far. Would I recommend these? Yeah, I still recommend them over the Black Series version. No question about it. But they're going to cost you about $50 each. So think about that. And until next time, peace.
That's crispy.
And there's a look without the filter.